This video will show you how to replace the front brakes, pads and rotors on a GMC Sierra 2500. These will be located behind your front wheels. Let's get into it. Okay friend, let's get started on our job. The first thing we have to do is safely raise and support the front end of the vehicle so the wheel's off the ground. Once you've done that, if you have a hubcap, we're going to remove that. That can be done using a 22mm socket. After that, we'll remove all 8 of our 22mm lug nuts as well so we can remove the wheel. Now that we have the wheel out of the way, we have a clear view of our front brakes. We're going to start by focusing on our caliper. Now we have to push back both of our caliper pistons, which are located inside of the caliper. To easily do that, if you have a small pry bar, carefully make your way inside the slot on the caliper itself. We're going to pry up against the rotor that you can see inside this area and up against the caliper, gently pulling it out and away from the vehicle. This is going to compress both of the pistons at the same time. Now, once you have some movement from that, we're going to continue on to removing each one of our 2 caliper slider bolts next. To remove each of our 2 slider pins, we're going to be using an 18mm. We'll fully loosen the first one, but leave it in the caliper bracket while continuing on to the next. Now we can move along to getting this one out of here. Of course, we do want to hold onto our caliper while we continue on. For the removal of the caliper, you may find that you have to gently pry it out of place. If you do have to pry, be extremely careful for your flex hose. We don't want to cause any damage. We'll set that aside for recycling. Now we're going to hang the caliper aside, so it's putting no pressure on our flex hose. We're going to have to push back both of our caliper pistons next. Now that I have this caliper rested in this position, we can see both of our caliper pistons. We want to press these in at the same time. If you press one in, you're going to find the other one will force its way out. To help bring this into the proper position, we have a caliper compression tool. You may find that you need a spacer. If you did need to use a spacer of any sort, you can just use one of your original brake pads. Just go ahead and pull that right out of place as necessary. Now as I press these in, we're paying attention to our pistons making their way in. We definitely want to make sure there's no fluid coming out. Now with our tool out of the way and the pistons compressed, just double check to make sure you do not have any brake fluid making its way out of the dust seals on the caliper pistons. If it's making its way out of here, you have an internal seal issue. You're going to want to replace that caliper. Now we're going to remove our brake pads. I've already removed one. Let's go ahead and remove the other one as well. It's time to remove the caliper bracket next. To remove the caliper bracket, you're going to find that you have 2 21mm headed mounting bolts. There's one up here, and there's one located just below it. Just as before, let's fully remove the first one, a quick inspection, and start it back in. That'll prevent the bracket from falling off while we continue on to the next mounting bolt. A quick inspection of the mounting bracket to confirm it doesn't look damaged. We will be cleaning and lubricating this. For now, let's go ahead and set it aside. Let's remove our brake rotor next. To remove the brake rotor, I like to use one of my original lug nuts. I'm going to put it on one of my studs, just a couple threads, it's still loose. If you find that you still have the locking clips holding your rotor in place, go ahead and remove those. Those can be easily removed with some cutters or even a flat blade screwdriver if necessary. Go ahead and set those aside for recycling. Typically there will be 2 of them. If there's one, you'll find another. Let's prepare to remove that brake rotor. Now this brake rotor does move and it's ready to come off of here, so I can remove my lug nut. If yours was stuck in place, you can either use a bolt through one of these ports, gently screwing them in up against your wheel bearing hub, forcing this out, or tap on it with a hammer, whatever's easiest for you. Since mine is loose, I'm just going to remove the lug nut and that brake rotor. Prior to installation of any brand new part, of course, we need to make sure we clean and inspect our mounting area. For this, we're cleaning the wheel bearing hub surface. We can see where there is a little bit of raised areas and some rust. To go ahead and clean this down, you can use a wire brush or a sanding disc as necessary. Now that we have our bearing hub clean, the next thing we need to clean is our caliper bracket. Now, looking at our caliper bracket on the bench, the first thing that I always like to do is remove my tins along either side. Now, to remove these tins, you can use a flat blade screwdriver or even a small pry bar, whatever's easiest for you. We're just going to make our way in between the tin and the caliper, and we'll tap it out of place. When you remove these tins, you're going to find that they do look a little bit different on either side. You just want to pay attention to which side of the caliper bracket they go on. Typically, you can just look at the caliper bracket itself when you're installing your new tins. Once you have those tins out of place, the next thing that I would typically do would be to remove my caliper slider pin boots. On this application, you do not remove these boots. They actually have a small adapter that presses into the caliper bracket. So to clean these, we're going to use a clean rag with a little bit of detergent. We'll carefully make our way inside, removing any miscellaneous debris. I just have my detergent directly on a rag. We'll twist a corner. We're going to slide it inside of the caliper bracket as far as possible. Your slider pin would go through the boot and into the bracket itself. So we need to gently force this in there. I'm going to be using a flat blade screwdriver. We're working this around. As I work it around, I'm attempting to drag it along the inside of the caliper bracket, removing any miscellaneous debris. We want to remove as much as possible here. You may have to repeat this process several times. That one looks good. Let's do the same for the other. After cleaning each one of your 2 slider pin ports, the next thing we need to do is clean each side of the bracket where our caliper bracket tins were located. You can use a wire brush or a sanding disc as necessary. We'll double check to make sure there's no raised areas. Do the same thing on the other side of the bracket. Once you have the caliper bracket cleaned, we're also going to make sure we clean our caliper slider pins and our caliper bracket bolts. Okay, everything's cleaned here, so I'm continuing with my high temperature caliper lubricant. I'm going to be lubricating the bracket in the areas that we had removed the tins from and cleaned. We don't need very much here. Just a light coating will do. This is going to help keep moisture away so we don't get any rust or rot buildup underneath there. Continuing on, it's time for our caliper tins. Now for these, during the removal process, I had mentioned that one side of each one of the tins is a little bit larger in diameter than the other. To go ahead and install these onto the bracket, you want to make sure you have them in the proper orientation so the larger diameter area is facing towards where the caliper slider pin boots are. We're going to align this up and we'll press it in towards the bracket. Once you have it pressed in, just give it a wiggle, make sure it's secured in place, and repeat the process for the other side of that bracket. At this point, we're done with all this. Let's make our way back over to the vehicle. Now, looking at our hub mating surface, we need to apply some anti-seize before installing our brand new brake rotor. Just a thin coating should do. Make our way all the way around here. Now it's time to install our brand new front brake rotor. Pay attention to the orientation of my drilled and slotted areas on this brake rotor. We have it facing in the proper direction. We'll slide it in place. Once you have it in place, continue on with one of your original lug nuts. This is going to bottom out, preventing the rotor from falling off while we continue on. Now we can get our caliper bracket in place. I've already cleaned the threads on my bolts and applied red thread locker. Once both bolts are started in, go ahead and snug them up and the torque will be 221 foot-pounds. Next, it's time for our brake pads. Let's have a quick look along the backside. In your brake pad kit, you're going to find that 2 of your brake pads come with 2 wear indicators, one on either side, and 2 of the brake pads will have a wear indicator on one side of the pad. You're going to find that the pad that has it on one side will have it on one side or the other, depending on which pad you're working with. We'll make sure we have the pads in the proper orientation. Since I'm working on the passenger side, I have it so my wear indicator is down along the bottom side here. We're just going to take this and we'll carefully slide it into our caliper bracket. It should slide in fairly easily. If you have to hammer it in for any reason, you didn't clean the bracket well enough. This does move freely. Let's continue on to the outer pad. For the outer pad, it has the double wear indicator. We'll go ahead and make sure we have this in the proper orientation. It should just slide right into place as well. Both pads move as they should. Let's pay attention to our caliper next. Prior to installing that caliper, we're going to be using our high temperature caliper lubricant along each one of our 2 pistons. After lubricating each one of these pistons, lubricate along the inboard side of the 3 outboard ears. This will help with vibration dampening and noise reduction overall. Now we can take that caliper, we'll bring it down so it's coming close to where it needs to be. We need to pay attention to our brake flex hose. You can see that mine is twisted. That's going to cause brake fluid restriction, especially if I had it in the wrong positioning. So I'm going to bring this around. We don't want to put any pressure on that brake hose, and we'll slide it over each one of our 2 brake pads and slider pin boots. We're using our caliper lubricant on each one of our 2 slider pins. Lubricate the entire smooth shafted area, all the way down the pin, down to where the groove is, closest to where the threading is. That's where the caliper slider boot is going to sit, and this will help prevent moisture from making its way into the area. When installing our caliper slider pin, we can carefully slide it through the caliper, through the boot, and into the bracket. Go ahead and start that in by hand. Down here. Once they're started in, snug them up and torque them to 80 foot-pounds. Now we can remove our lug nut, holding the rotor in place. One more quick inspection in this area, and we can reinstall our wheel. Now it's time to reinstall that wheel. Once you have the wheel in place, start on all 8 of your 22mm lug nuts. We're going to lightly bottom them out. We'll get the wheel safely back down on the ground and then torque each of them to 140 foot-pounds. Now I've got the wheel back on the ground. Let's go ahead and torque each of these lug nuts to 140 foot-pounds in a crisscross manner. Torqued. If you have a center cover, install that now. We'll get the center cover in place. We're starting on each one of our caps using our 22mm socket here. Just snug them up. Double check to make sure it's secured in place. Okay friend, we showed you the installation of one side of your front brakes, pads, and rotors. Go over to the other side of the vehicle and repeat this exact same process, because when you do it, you do them as a pair, both sides of the vehicle at the same time. After that, you're going to make sure you pump up your brake pedal till it's nice and firm and take your vehicle for a road test. Thanks for watching.
When only the best will do, demand TRQ. The only company that lets you view before you do. TRQ is committed to offering the highest quality aftermarket auto parts that are engineered for peace of mind. Thanks for using and viewing with TRQ.